Beverley Allitt, The Angel of Death, a cautionary tale of Munchausens and murder. Imagine a place of healing, a sanctuary for the vulnerable. Now, picture that sanctuary violated, the very hands meant to nurture instead dealing death. This is the chilling reality of Beverley Allitt, The Angel of Death. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Beverley Allitt's early life was a breeding ground for the darkness that would later consume her. Her childhood was marked by a desperate need for attention, a void she sought to fill through increasingly disturbing means. From a young age, Allitt exhibited attention-seeking behaviors. These weren't simple cries for help. They were calculated manipulations designed to place her at the center of attention. Self-inflicted injuries became a recurring theme. These acts of self-harm were not necessarily suicidal, but rather a means to garner sympathy and concern from those around her. Frequent hospital visits punctuated her childhood. These visits, often for vague or unsubstantiated ailments, further reinforced her role as a patient, a role she seemed to relish. As an adolescent, Allitt struggled with her weight, a source of insecurity that manifested as aggression. This aggression, often directed towards others, hinted at a deeper, more troubling pathology. Suspicions of Munchausen syndrome began to surface early on. This disorder, characterized by the fabrication of illness for attention, seemed to fit Allitt's pattern of behavior. She wasn't just feigning illness for herself, she seemed to derive satisfaction from harming others to gain attention. This disturbing trend would escalate with devastating consequences. During her nursing training, Allitt smeared feces on walls, a shocking act of defiance and a clear indication of her disregard for boundaries and social norms. This behavior was a red flag, a warning sign that went largely unheeded. Her attendance was poor, plagued by a series of claimed illnesses. This absenteeism disrupted her training and further fueled suspicions about the legitimacy of her health complaints. In relationships, Allitt displayed aggressive, manipulative, and deceptive behavior. She used lies and emotional blackmail to control those around her, leaving a trail of broken trust and shattered relationships. She even went so far as to claim false pregnancy and rape, using these fabricated traumas to elicit sympathy and manipulate others. These lies were a testament to her willingness to exploit any situation for personal gain. Despite her aspirations, Allitt struggled academically, exhibiting poor attendance and repeatedly failing her nursing examinations. This failure only seemed to intensify her need for attention, driving her to more extreme measures. The Grantham and Kesteven Hospital became the stage for Allitt's horrific acts. The understaffed children's ward provided the perfect environment for her to carry out her deadly plans. Employed on a temporary 6-month contract, Allitt quickly gained access to vulnerable patients. This short-term position allowed her to operate with a degree of anonymity, making it harder to detect her crimes. The children's ward was chronically understaffed, creating opportunities for Allitt to act without constant supervision. This lack of oversight proved fatal for several young patients. Liam Taylor, just 7 weeks old, became Allitt's first victim on February 21, 1991. His death marked the beginning of a terrifying spree of violence that would shock the nation. Allitt injected her victims with lethal doses of insulin and potassium, inducing cardiac arrest and other life-threatening complications. These readily available substances became her weapons of choice. She also tampered with oxygen supplies, depriving vulnerable infants of the vital air they needed to survive. This act of sabotage demonstrated a chilling level of premeditation and cruelty. Other victims included Timothy Hardwick, Kaylee Desmond, Paul Crampton, Bradley Gibson, Yik Hung Chan, Becky and Katie Phillips, and Claire Peck. Each child suffered at Allitt's hands, their lives forever altered or tragically cut short. Missing nursing logs raised suspicion among Allitt's colleagues. These discrepancies suggested that someone was deliberately concealing information about the patient's care. High levels of insulin and potassium were found in the victims' bloodstreams, confirming that they had been deliberately poisoned. This discovery provided crucial evidence linking Allitt to the crimes. In total, 25 separate suspicious episodes involving 13 victims were identified. This staggering number revealed the true extent of Allitt's reign of terror. The investigation into the suspicious deaths led to Allitt's arrest in November 1991. The evidence against her was mounting, but she remained steadfast in her denial. Arrested and charged with murder, Allitt denied any involvement during interrogation. She maintained her innocence, even in the face of overwhelming evidence. Throughout the investigation, Allitt exhibited symptoms of Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen syndrome by proxy. These conditions helped explain her motivation for harming the children in her care. She was eventually charged with 4 counts of murder, 11 counts of attempted murder, and 11 counts of causing grievous bodily harm. The severity of the charges reflected the gravity of her crimes. Her trial began at Nottingham Crown Court on February 15, 1993. The courtroom was packed with journalists, victims' families, and members of the public, all eager to witness justice being served. Prosecutors meticulously linked Allitt's presence to each suspicious episode, demonstrating a clear pattern of behavior. This circumstantial evidence proved to be incredibly compelling. Expert testimony on Munchausen syndrome was provided by Professor Roy Meadow, a leading authority on the disorder. His testimony helped the jury understand Allitt's psychological state and her motivations. On May 23, 1993, Allitt was convicted on all charges and sentenced to 13 life sentences. The verdict brought a sense of relief to the victims' families, but the pain of their loss remained. The aftermath of Allitt's crimes was far-reaching. The Grantham and Kesteven Hospital was forever tainted by her actions, and the community struggled to come to terms with the tragedy. The maternity unit at Grantham and Kesteven Hospital was closed in the wake of the scandal. This closure was a symbolic acknowledgement of the profound breach of trust that had occurred. Allitt was incarcerated at Rampton Secure Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility. This placement reflected the severity of her mental illness and the danger she posed to society. Even behind bars, Allitt continued to exhibit attention-seeking behaviors, including self-harm. Her need for attention remained insatiable, even in the confines of a secure hospital. Years after her conviction, Allitt admitted to some of the murders and assaults. These confessions provided a small measure of closure for the victims' families, but they could never fully erase the pain. She remains ineligible for parole, ensuring that she will spend the rest of her life in confinement. This sentence reflects the gravity of her crimes and the need to protect the public from her. Despite her crimes, Allitt has received over $40,000 in state benefits since her incarceration in 1993. This fact has sparked outrage among the public, who question why she should continue to receive taxpayer money. In August 2006, Allitt applied for a review of her sentence, hoping to be released from prison. Her application was ultimately denied, reaffirming the severity of her crimes and the need for her continued confinement. This case serves as a stark reminder of the potential for evil to lurk in the most unexpected places. It highlights the importance of vigilance, thorough background checks, and a commitment to protecting the vulnerable. The Beverley Allitt case is a chilling example of how a desperate need for attention, coupled with a disturbed mind, can lead to unimaginable horrors. It underscores the importance of recognizing and addressing mental health issues, especially in individuals working in positions of trust. This case also highlights the need for robust safeguarding measures in healthcare settings. Hospitals must implement rigorous background checks, provide adequate staffing levels, and foster a culture of open communication and accountability. The victims of Beverley Allitt deserve to be remembered, not just as statistics, but as individuals whose lives were tragically cut short. Their stories serve as a powerful reminder of the devastating consequences of unchecked mental illness and systemic failures. We must learn from the mistakes of the past and work to create a safer, more compassionate world for all. This requires a collective effort from healthcare professionals, policymakers, and the public at large. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, please like and share it with others. Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses of true crime cases and psychological disorders. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts on the Beverley Allitt case and what lessons we can learn from it. Finally, consider supporting organizations that provide mental health services and advocate for patient safety. Your actions can make a difference.